Hi, my name is Ben Quilty and Jimmy Barnes is my entry for the Archibald Prize. I met Jimmy Barnes at a fundraiser for the Nordoff Robbins Music Therapy Centre quite a few years ago now, and I made a work about his cold chisel song called K-San, and we auctioned it off to raise money for that charity.
He said, of course you're going to perform it. And I said, well, they haven't asked me. He said, well, I'm going to organise it, you know.
Let my heart to the sappers round K-San.
Basically, from the minute I met him, I enjoyed his company.
Unfortunately, he'd heard from someone else that I wanted to paint him naked.
And I sort of went, well, it's going to be a really warm day and you're going to need a really big brush.
I then had the idea if he could leave his clothes on and make the portrait of him looking as though he was in full binge mode 10 years ago.
He said, do you think you can remember what it's like? I said, I can't forget, you know. It's indelibly burnt into my brain. I did it that often.
He's lived a fairly full-on rock and roll lifestyle of drugs and alcohol and binging and living life in the fast lane.
Sometimes when I used to get trashed, it helped me become a better singer. It made me lose my inhibitions. There's a certain point in your life where that stops and it becomes dangerous. And with me, because I'm a alcoholic and I was a serious drug addict, that point blurred for a long, long time. Within that one portrait, for me, there's a 30-year block of life. I get a feeling of all the years of invincibility. And then I can also see the end result where I was a mess and I was nearly dead. I feel that there's some sort of rebirth. It's like that cocoon thing. I was just in the cocoon for a long, long time. I went in a butterfly and came out a caterpillar.
The Rorschach process is taken from a psychoanalyst over 100 years ago who designed the ink blot test. I did it first when I was about 4 in kindy. Lay a thick acrylic paint onto a piece of paper and squash another one on and make this beautiful butterfly. And I'm sure most people's experience of that Rorschach process is kind of magical. My work has been described as a glorification of decline, and I think that's perfect. It's glorifying not only the process of young male initiation, of young men binging at bucks parties and head weddings and all these bizarre rites of passage, glorifying decline, but also the actual process of my painting, of destroying the surface, opening it back up and glorifying the decline of the image.
When I first was introduced to him, it was like he was a rock star of the art world, you know, some flamboyant, wild man. Sure, he is a bit wild, but he's a very deep thinker, a very wild spirit who says what he feels and feels a hell of a lot.
My mum did art courses when I was a kid, and she always would threaten that if I was having a sick day, I'd have to go to TAFE with her and do art, and little did she realise I actually loved going. In fact, one of the first drawing books I made in the end, photorealist pencil drawing of Jimmy Barnes from a Barnstorming album cover. I went and saw Jimmy Barnes in that concert, and only this year gave him that drawing. Said, Jimmy, you've got to own this drawing.
As a painter, he's a good singer.